In the roar of a lion, the saints of India heard not power, but devotion, a love so fierce that even fear bowed before it. Across the vast, sun-drenched spiritual landscape of India, the lion is not merely a creature of the wild, a king of beasts ruling a physical domain. It is something far more profound. It is a mirror held up to the devotee's soul, a living, breathing symbol of fearless devotion in the ancient Bhakti tradition. In the deepest chamber of a devotee's heart, the lion's thunderous roar transforms. It is not a cry of aggression or dominance, but the soul-shaking cry of complete surrender, a powerful, unwavering declaration of love for the divine that echoes through the cosmos. It is a sound that signifies a faith so absolute that it transcends the very boundaries of the self, merging with the infinite. One of the most potent and dramatic embodiments of this sacred symbol is Lord Narasimha, the divine lion, the awe-inspiring half-man, half-lion incarnation of Vishnu. The timeless tale unfolds with the demon king Hiranyakashipu, a being consumed by arrogance and a belief in his own invincibility. He challenged the pure, unshakable faith of his own son, Prahlada, a boy whose heart knew nothing but devotion. When Hiranyakashipu, blinded by rage and ego, demanded to know where Prahlada's god was, the boy replied, "He is everywhere." In a final act of defiance, the demon struck a stone pillar, mocking the idea that the divine could reside within mere stone. It was from that very pillar that the Lord emerged, a terrifying and magnificent form that was neither man nor beast, defying every boon and protection the demon had secured. In that cataclysmic moment, where twilight met the threshold, Narasimha protected his devotee, not through brute force alone, but as a manifestation of divine love answering a faithful call. That image became the eternal icon of Bhakti, a devotion so powerful that it cannot be destroyed by fear. It cannot be diminished by arrogance, and it cannot be broken by pain. It is the promise that for every soul that calls out in pure faith, the divine will answer, tearing through the very fabric of reality to do so. In the path of Bhakti, true courage is not something born from worldly conquest or the subjugation of others. It is not the strength of a warrior who gathers armies, but the profound strength that blossoms from absolute surrender. It is a paradox that the mind struggles to grasp, but the heart understands implicitly. Like a lion that walks its path alone, solitary yet fearing nothing, the devotee walks the sacred path of love. This journey is often fraught with misunderstanding from the outside world. It is often tested by doubt and hardship from within. Yet, through it all, the devotee's spirit remains unbroken, their faith a constant guiding star. The essence of true bhakti is not a retreat from the world, not an escape into a secluded cave or a distant monastery to avoid life's challenges. On the contrary, it is about facing the world in its entirety with all its chaos, its beauty, its pain, and its joy, but facing it with the heart of a lion, steady, fearless, centered, and filled to the brim with an unshakable faith that sees the divine in every single moment, in every single being. This courage is the quiet assurance that no matter the storm, one is held in the infinite embrace of divine love. The great saints and poets of the Bhakti movement visionaries, like Mirabai, who danced in ecstatic love for her Krishna, Tulsidas, whose words built a temple of devotion to Rama, and Kabir, whose verses tore down the walls between faith sang of this lion-hearted devotion. Their poetry was not a gentle whisper. It was a powerful roar that echoed through the centuries, a spiritual rebellion against the cold, deadening chains of empty ritual and the suffocating prison of the ego. They spoke not of a distant, inaccessible God, but of a deeply personal, intimate love affair with the divine. They described a love that devours illusion, a fierce and hungry passion that consumes all falsehoods and leaves only the shining truth. They taught of a faith that cannot be tamed by societal norms or religious dogma, a wild and free spirit that answers only to the call of the beloved. For these mystics, the lion was not an external creature to be admired or feared. It was the ferocious strength awakening within the soul, the divine power that surges forth when the heart stripped of all pretense, finally calls the divine by his true name in an act of pure, unadulterated love. Today, in our modern, complex world, the lion of Bhakti does not roam the deep forests or reside only within the stone walls of ancient temples. Its spirit is alive and well, living not in grand gestures but in the countless, often unseen, moments of quiet courage that define our daily lives. It is present when one makes the conscious choice to respond with love in the face of anger, to extend a hand of compassion instead of a fist of judgment. It is there when one chooses to hold on to faith, even when surrounded by a sea of fear and uncertainty. Every act of selfless compassion, every heartfelt prayer whispered in a moment of profound doubt, every tear shed in longing for the divine, each of these is a small, silent roar that echoes the great lion's call. It is a vibration of love that ripples through the fabric of eternity, a testament to the enduring power of the human heart. The timeless path of Bhakti serves as a powerful reminder. Devotion is not weakness. It is not a passive submission. It is the ultimate strength, a power rooted in the inexhaustible, unconditional, and unconquerable force of love. The lion of Bhakti does not roar to be heard by the world, nor does it seek its applause or recognition. It roars in the profound and sacred silence of the inner sanctum, in the absolute stillness of a heart that has surrendered itself completely, holding nothing back to the overwhelming presence of the divine. And in that sacred silence, there is no room for fear, no space for doubt, no shadow of uncertainty. There's only love so vast, so boundless, so eternal that it becomes the very air one breathes, the very ground one walks upon. It is a silent roar that stills the universe,